Welcome back for day 24 of 31 Monsters in 31 Days. Let's find out who we're making today. We are making an alien. All right, let's get started.
You're watching me sketch out the plan and start gluing up the base for my alien. The monsters in this series are all based on a basic blob shape. You can see a tutorial for that in this video, which is linked in the description. But for this alien, I'm modifying that blob shape quite a bit, so I want to explain that to you. I had the top of this plastic display cloche from Dollar Tree. I used the base for another project, but I thought this could make a really cool space helmet. Think like the Mars Attacks aliens. It's a bit too tall though, so I'll mask it off, mark a level line, and then take a bit of height off with a hacksaw. I'm doing this now before I form up the body because I want to make sure the alien head fits in there nicely. Now I'm starting the blob shape as I have every other monster in this series. I'm hot gluing a lunch bag around the cardboard base, cutting tabs into the bottom of the bag so I can glue those underneath, then stuffing the bag with paper. When I get 10 to 15 centimeters up, I'm twisting up the neck of the bag almost as if I was making a pumpkin and this would be the stem, and then I'm taping that in place. Now I can test fit the helmet and eyeball how much of the stem I need to cut off to make a good sized head. Then I'll wad some paper around the remainder, knowing that I can't go higher than the height I've left. One last fit check with my helmet and I'm good to cover this guy in paper mache. You can find all the info on how I do my paper mache in this video, but while I'm putting on my 4 layers, I want to give you a little bit of history on little green aliens and tell you why I put them on my monster list. The image of little green men came to us from both folklore and early science fiction. Medieval legends like the Green Children of Woolpit described mysterious green-skinned kids who spoke an unknown language and would eat only beans. By the early 20th century, pulp magazines were already depicting green Martians. The phrase little green men gained traction after the 1955 Kelly Hopkinsville encounter in Kentucky, USA, where a family reported small alien creatures from a spaceship were attacking their farmhouse. The family never described the aliens as green, but the press added the term, blending existing alien lore with the alleged alien sighting. During the rise in popularity of science fiction during the Cold War era, the phrase little green men became an easy shorthand for extraterrestrial life. Characters like Marvin the Martian and the Great Gazoo and video games like Space Invaders increased the fascination and popularity of aliens. By the late 20th century, the alien costume was a Halloween staple. The little green man image persists because it's cheap to reproduce, easy to recognize, and rooted in decades of pop culture. I put aliens on my monster list because seeing kids in this costume cracks me up every single Halloween. I also saw several terrifying alien abduction movies during my formative years that still haunt me to this day. I'm using some oven-baked clay to make some weird alien eyes. I'll bake these and then hot glue them onto my little alien head. We're going to keep his face pretty simple because his head is pretty tiny. We're making some eyelids by folding up my brown paper to thicken it up and make a nice edge, and then wrapping those around the eyeballs. I'm going to give him a little frown. I'm rolling up some gluey paper to make a top lip and smoothing that onto his face. For his lower lip, I'm folding a twisted paper towel into the paper to give it a bit more of a pouty shape, then putting it on his face to make a little grimace. I'm using some tiny bits of paper to blend his lips into his face. I'm using 2 little pieces of fencing wire to make his alien antenna. I'm poking 2 holes into his head and sliding the wires in. I'm checking the antenna fit nicely into his helmet before tacking them in place with a bit of hot glue. I'm also hot gluing a wooden bead onto the end of each wire. When that glue has set and cooled, we'll cover each antenna with a bit of paper mache. To add a bit of interest to his alien head, I thought I'd put a little ridge with a twist of paper towel and cover that in paper mache. I also want to make a collar for his spacesuit that his helmet would lock into. I'm taping a big twist of paper around, making sure that his helmet will still fit in. And then I covered that in paper mache before setting him aside to dry. When all that's dry, I'm using some bits and bobs to make some equipment for his spacesuit. I popped this fan bit out of this vampire noisemaker. I'll hot glue this onto an appropriately fit foam board circle on his spacesuit. I'm sticking together some tubing and these connectors from an old toy set. I'm imagining this is a bit of tech that converts our earthly air into something he can breathe and runs into his space helmet. This little bit also came out of the vampire kazoo. I'm just sticking it here for funsies. I'm going to use some DOS air dry clay to blend in the spacesuit tech and give another layer to his spacesuit collar. This is a paper-based clay that works really well on paper mache. It's in my supply list, which is linked in the description. Now I'm setting this aside so the clay can dry. Now that everything is dry, I'm going to paint his spacesuit in a base coat of black. When that's dry, I'm brushing on some silver paint. I found this to be a little bit too shiny, so I aged it a bit with a brown wash. I made my little man a nice shade of green. And while that dries, I'm painting his eyeballs yellow. I'm brightening up his skin tone a little bit with a lighter green. Now I'm giving him some black alien pupils. And I'll add a few lowlights with a darker green wash. Finally, I'll slide on his helmet and glue some black felt onto the base of the sculpture as a final finishing touch. And here's our finished little green alien. What do you think? I think using the cloche as a space helmet was pretty clever. I also had a lot of fun putting together all the little bits for his spacesuit. Let me know what you think of him in the comments, and please hit the like button if you think I did a good job. Since I'm a smaller channel, anytime you like or comment, it really makes a difference for me because it tells YouTube that this video is worth watching. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss tomorrow's video. Subscribe to my Patreon if you want to see it ad-free. And again, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow.